Blarla. Hello peeps and welcome back to Project Hospital. Welcome back to infectious diseases. Yes, indeedy. Now you may have noticed that the game is paused, and that's because a patient has arrived that I am very interested in. Look who we have here. Patricia Miller has a very highly infectious or highly contagious disease, and as you can see here, she is did the van change? It looked like this changed size with me coming down that was very weird. She is coming into trauma, and of course trauma don't take any kind of precautions against highly contagious patients at the moment, and we're not going to make them take any precautions either. No, what we are going to do here with Patricia is try and not contain her as much as possible so that we can see the illness spread, hopefully, to see what occurs. At the same time, you might note that this Nipah virus infection is actually potentially going to kill her. And I don't know at the moment with this department how difficult these illnesses are. I don't know whether this will kill her extremely quickly or not, like some of the illnesses do on other departments. So don't really know what the timer is on this. All the same, we will carry on. So let's go with this. So she is now being taken into an area that does not protect against highly contagious illnesses, right? She doesn't. I've removed this because this was a final diagnosis. I've removed it because I don't want them to send her to the ICU or anything. So here we are. I've taken control of the patient. You can see they're going to give her some meds to bring down her fever. She's also unconscious, and that is dealt with oxygen, which we're going to request to give her. So Nipah virus infection is a serious and potentially fatal disease caused by an RNA virus in the genus Henipavirus. It spreads between people and can also transmit from animals to humans. Ooh, nasty. So there we are. We have dealt with these. But as I say, I don't really want to isolate her. I'd like to attempt to get everyone around her infected. So we're now going to do a physical. Indeed we are. What's the treatment here? Complex antiviral therapy. Interesting. And she's probably supposed to go into one of those biohazard containment, I've forgotten what they're called, rooms. Forgotten what they're called. Should we find out? Isolation units, yeah. She needs to go into one of those isolation units. I'm hoping I'll be able to treat her outside of the isolation unit because I want to make everyone ill. Right, so she's had her physical. Very good. We can't interview her. She is unconscious. Although apparently we suppressed that. We still can't interview her. So now we could... I wonder if... I don't know whether I want to do the testing because just to kill more time now and keep her here while we do that, or I'm wondering if I did bring her up to it's changed a little bit. If I did bring her up to here but just put her into the regular ward to try and treat her, see if we can avoid using this, that'd be great. I would like that. You can see here it looks a little different from the last time that we were here. Employees have now exceeded the 400. 400 is the natural cap of staff that you can employ in the game. However, if you do go to the menu, you can indeed increase employee limit to 600. You can also disable the limit altogether. But you can see it does say fast PC needed, or very fast PC needed. I'm pretty sure that I'm able to do this, but of course I also like to upload my hospitals, and so yeah, I try to keep the staffing down, but to get this department in is definitely going over. That's worth bearing in mind because of course this hospital is available for download on the Steam Workshop. There is a link in the description below. Please do go and download it. At very least, go and give it a thumbs up. I'd like to do quite well with my hospital on the workshop. That would be really, really cool. Anyway, back to Patricia Miller. Yeah, so I am hopefully going... Oh, they are. They're putting her straight into isolation. So I can't not isolate her. Damn. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh, it's too late. Damn it. I want the illness to spread, so that's worth bearing in mind. It will automatically stick her in that type of isolation, hospitalization, which is a real shame because I don't want her to go in there. I don't want her to go in there. But there we are. She has. Opportunity ruined, eh? Opportunity ruined. That being said, she's just sat here waiting. But I don't remember who dealt with her. Christopher Miller. It's not a very fun name, is it? Okay. So what's interesting is they are still sticking her in sort of the containment. Look at that. But he's not protected right now. But she is isolated. I guess at least we can see this room be used. Because I am interested to see it being used. I'm assuming this door will close. In she goes. Boom. And then I guess he will close that door? No? How does this work? How does this work? It's just wide open. How does that work? I don't understand. I don't understand, but she's in there. She's isolated, apparently. This door, isolation. Oh, air door. So, I don't understand. Somehow, it's airtight. This air door allows air to move freely while removing contaminants. Sure. I don't think that tech exists, does it? I don't think that tech exists. Pretty sure it doesn't. One thing I would like to do, though, with this contamination thing is I feel that it would be sensible to have it... Well, not sensible. More of a role-play aspect. Oh, who's this? Anybody? She's not coming in. Nah. As a role-play aspect, because I don't know if these guys handling samples, if they would get ill, if they had any sort of contagious example. Actually, that's a good point, right? So what we could do with Patricia, what we can do here is we haven't actually technically taken the samples. See, we can do RT PCR testing for this, which is a... Look there. It is a lab thing. It goes to the hematology lab. Should we do it? We could do that, couldn't we? We can't do speech listening because she's not talking. We could listen to her chest. And we could take her temperature. Just try and get her out of this room as much as possible. Just to see what happens. But then again, they are forced. We are forced to have masks and gloves in these rooms. But yeah, from a roleplay aspect, I don't know if these staff can get ill from samples coming in. So we'll leave them unprotected for now, but I think whether they can or can't, I am going to change these so that they're only allowed in these parts with masks and gloves, just because, I don't know, from a roleplay aspect, I feel like that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I do. Yeah, something else, actually, with pathology, an item that you get, is this germicidal lamp. Have I said that right? It's used to kill all microbes in a room. I feel like this might be a pretty cool item to have in here. I don't think it makes any difference to the room at all, but it just sort of makes sense to me. Do you know what I mean? So I might start sticking those in the room as well. Just it's like that little role-playing aspect. Right, is anyone coming to get Patricia? We want her out and about and free. Yeah, so she's come for examinations, but this is a room where we're forced to have all the masks and gloves going. So, rip. We'll have to wait for the next highly contagious person and see what we can do. Maybe I should have kept her in trauma. Still, they've taken this PCR testing now. So, we will wait for the tech to come and collect. Brooke Robinson has come in. with the Nipah virus. Oh, right, take control. So exciting. Right, let's take control. And again, guys, can we not isolate her? So we'll do a bunch of tests right here. Listen to her chest, you know, do the ones that we're doing up there, but without any kind of safeguards or protection. Let's try and sort these out as well. There we go. We can't actually give her cure. That's the only problem. You might notice as well, I've swapped out the lab. What sinks were I using? I was using the sinks for surgery in here. I've now swapped them out for these new sinks that come with this DLC. They're alright. You know, they're alright. They work. They do the trick. Oh, they do the trick. Again, with Brooke, we are going to order that testing to be done as well, so we can get another tech down here. Ha ha ha, Natasha Sandwich, who I think is actually also a name that I'm using in my Sims series, which I need to continue at some point, which I absolutely will. But yeah, Natasha Sandwich. So Natasha Sandwich has come to collect the samples from here, and she is now not protected. I have no idea if techs can get ill from handling contagious samples. I'd like to find out for sure. Natasha Sandwich is returning to the labs with her contagious sample. Mind you, again, I have one of these germ lamps, but I don't think they do anything in terms of gameplay. So there you go. She's sticking the samples in there. Oh, this Fraser has Legionnaire's disease. So apparently he has to be hospitalised for that. We'll just stick him in regular hospitalisation then. He's looking a bit rough, isn't he? He is looking a bit rough. Oh, they didn't even give him the meds for that terrible high fever. What on earth? Anyway, so she stuck the samples in this fridge, didn't she? Oh, now it looks like... Yeah, look. Lance Radish is working on those samples. For Patricia Miller here. And of course we know that Brooke... And now what's nice about Brooke as well is that she is staying down here. I haven't moved her. Okay. They should be fine. Yeah, so there is that going on. Lance Radish, great name. I'm really pleased with the name. So let's see. Yeah, look. Natasha is handling these samples as well. We've got Brendan Chunder here as well. He doesn't seem to be handling the samples. Lance Radish is off to fill some free time. So it is all down to Natasha Sandwich at this point. It's hard to know. She's now, look, cleaning out the petri dish. Nice little detail. And there we go. So Natasha Sandwich didn't get ill. None of the labs techs got ill, but Patricia has indeed been through her sample testing. We all seem to be good there. Let's give her something for her breathing, but otherwise there is not much else we can do there. So just down to Brooke now. Just lying there waiting for her treatment. Will she spread anything? Who knows? Maybe what we could do with is a walk-in highly contagious patient. Yeah, so we have uncovered, and as far as I can tell, nobody has become infected at all. I guess no one's been near her, but yeah, okay. I guess I have to send her there now, although of course there is no current isolation wards available. So I might copy this over and stick it at the end here. There we go. There is a room for Brooke to enjoy, because yeah, we can't. She's not spreading anything. I guess there is only a percentage chance. It's possible as well that they need to be within a certain radius of them for a period of time. Difficult to say. Oh, a change I have made to the hospital though is every day. I was getting to a point now every day where I've got 2 cardiography rooms in cardiology. And I was noticing that my cardiography and these two cardiographies, so my X-ray cardiography and both the cardiographies on my cardiology department, were always critical every day. It wasn't changing, so something needed to be done. So I added to my cardiology department, I've put in a small cardiography here, which is ward patients only. So looking forward to seeing how that works today. I've only just built it, so it's reading as none at the moment. And you can see here that we have got some criticals and stuff. That was critical as well. I've changed this to outpatients only, and I've made this both ward and outpatients. Don't really know at the moment if I'm going to be keeping it like that, but yeah, I just want to see how that runs. That's another change that I have made. There it is, so you can see it. Excellent, huh? I don't know, there's a part of me now that's thinking, look, I've stuck this door on. I don't know, it's just weird without a door, but then you have to build like this awkward bit of wall. I mean, it fits in there. You know, it fits in there. I mean, with the cutaway, you've got like this weird gap, I know. But it's just weird without a door on it. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, knowing that they use this lab here to do the majority of tests for up there. I mean, I'm sure they use all the labs, but the majority of tests I think are going to be coming through there. So I'm going to put biohazard area in here. Oh, hang on a minute. Let's try that again. In here. Oh, it won't let me. Is that not weird? I thought I was allowed to do this. No? Can I only... Why is it here if I can't... Oh, is it because... No to... No. I actually just can't change labs at all. Disappointing. I wanted them to wear... Okay, whatever. Can't do that then. Which I guess means that their technicians are not going to get ill whatsoever. I was thinking that if staff are going to get ill, that maybe that I might be able to make it so that they can... in trauma. It's probably something I am going to do in trauma. So that trauma patients... So I would say there is potential that trauma patients can get sick because we've got that potential restriction there. Interesting. Okay. We have Charles Jones, who's turned up. It would be nice. Look, these two here, Ebola and Zika fever, are both highly contagious. It'd be nice, I think, if somewhere on here it indicated which ones were highly contagious, so they stand out. Because you're going to want to favour trying to locate these two first, before, you'd want to eliminate these before the others. Although not today, we're not. Okay, Charles is being called in. So David Williams, I would say, is the member of staff in this, is the one member of staff in this entire hospital that absolutely is at the highest risk, of catching something, because he will be in close proximity with Charles throughout this entire procedure. Of course, he might not have anything that's highly contagious. I guess we'll find out. We do have a couple more patients here. Oh, look, mumps. I had mumps when I was ickle. What have we got here? Oh, look. Right, we know for a fact that Paul Lopez here is highly contagious. He has the pneumonic plague. Jesus. Oh, look here. And Karen Adams has come in to emergency, and she is clearly ill as well. So I suppose James here could potentially get ill. Fantastic. Okay, we're going to take over Karen and help James along with this. Do you know what? We might just say, hey, would you like to take her temperature. Also, give her some steroids, cream, something for the pain, muscle pain as well, just to see if, just to see if James gets ill. I'm interested in finding out. We have progression with Charles. Look at all the orifice bleeding. Oh dear. Okay, probably can't do that in this room. I mean, we can give him something to bring his temperature down. What? Yeah, and this is an IV infusion. He really needs to be hospitalised. But I don't really want to do that at the same time. I want to try and spread illness. But both of these... Okay, so what we'll do before we send him anywhere is we will have David here do these 2 tests here. Get these samples together to go to the lab. So that he's spending, if he does have Ebola, he's spending a little extra time here. Typhoid fever has just come in to trauma, but in our experience, nothing seems to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit annoying. Let's give her IV infusion for the exhaustion. It does mean that I'm going to need to build another one of these rooms. I'm still trying to, I'm still learning of how much capacity we're going to need up here. So don't think that this layout is permanent. It's not. It's just something to give us a kick-off, so that we have the facilities. But I don't know what will be a sensible amount to have in terms of certain beds and diagnostic rooms and stuff like that. Figure out as I go along. So putting a room together for Kate here. And I've not put any of the doors or anything on, but it is still registered as a complete room. So one would think that that's in no way secure. But there we are. It does seem to be registering. It's so weird. It is so weird. In case you're wondering, with some of the other items that we have in here, this here is an isolation AC, and it says that air conditioning provides filtered fresh air and higher comfort for isolated patients. So I guess if you didn't bother putting this in here, the patient's comfort for whoever is in the room, would be lower. This gives it a little bit of a natural boost, which is kind of cool. I have put windows in, but I'm going to pretend that these windows don't open for obvious reasons. One would think as well that the receptionist out here would have the chance of becoming quite ill, because we've got somebody right there, right here, look, with pneumonic plague. Do you know what I mean? Do you see what I mean? I'm now sending Kate Miller to the wrong department. I'm desperately trying to spread illness. So I've sent her to internal medicine, where she's going to sit on the high dependency unit. And the game can't just sling her into infectious diseases because I've got control of the patient. We could get them to take an interview with her while she is there. Why not? James is now going to send Karen to infectious diseases because he's not been able to whittle this down any further. That's fine. Kate Miller is now on the wrong department, just lying there. This can't kill her. She can't crash from this. She's got no symptoms here that will cause her to crash. We've dealt with everything. So we're just going to let her sit there for a bit. We might prescribe some rest. We can make her a bit more comfortable. Look, she's got some muscle and joint pain. So we'll give her some painkillers for that, so that she's comfortable. But we're just going to let her be there and be infectious, highly contagious. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Paul Lopez with his pneumonic plague is now in. And we want him once again to spend quite a lot of time here with David. It turns out it's quite difficult to spread illnesses even when they are highly contagious. And you are taking no precautions. There are no precautions being taken in this hospital whatsoever, apart from where I'm being sort of forced to. And yeah, so far, lots of highly contagious patients, no precautions, nobody's got ill. Turns out that Charles here has Ebola, so once again, very, very contagious. Experimental serum, interesting. Blood component therapy. Yeah, we've got all sorts of new stuff going on, don't we? So there's all sorts of stuff that can make him crash. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pop him on the regular ward. This is the glory of them actually being outpatients. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Can he do the thorax? He can. Let's do that then. Let's also take this is the dude upstairs, isn't it? We want to also take the I always go past. I can never see it. I always go past it every time, even though all the lab stuff is largely together. There it is. So we'll take that as well. Could always send him for a chest x-ray. Oh, we'll do this PCR. Anything that takes longer, we'll do the PCR testing and we'll send him for a chest x-ray. We'll do the lot so that we can really get him around the hospital. And do you know what we'll do? Once again, we'll stick him in regular hospitalization. Just to see if we can spread it. There. So Charles has now come to the regular ward with his Ebola. We've queued up all the IVs that he's going to need in this experimental serum. And we're just going to, put him on. There's no kind of isolation at all. He's just right in there with everybody else. Seems like it's happened. Charles Jones. Daily News. I love that. It says Daily News. An infectious patient got hospitalised outside of isolation unit, and as a result, a part of your hospital got infected. Staff must now wear face masks and will work slowly. So as far as I can tell, it will only spread if they are hospitalised, if they are highly contagious and they are hospitalised on the normal ward. It seems that if they're just walking around in the hospital, they don't seem to infect anyone. Examinations, nobody seems to be getting infected. I think it's fair to say that nobody gets infected from handling samples because you can't even change these to an area that wears face masks and gloves, which is ridiculous, that you can't get infected from that. We had all kinds of highly contagious patients through trauma. We've got one who's highly contagious on a completely different department. Nothing's come of that. I mean, it might do. I guess I'll keep an eye out. So this is the only time it's actually worked, putting a highly contagious patient on the regular ward. Now, what's also interesting is that it straight up tells me that my staff are infected. So, right, okay, the janitor has been infected. There we are, it's the janitor, and we can tell here by this icon. His comfort is right down, his need is critical, and it says infected -2 discomfort. And so he just works slower. As far as I can tell, that's all that's happening, isn't it? That the staff just move slower. So he's still working, but he just moves very, very slowly when he is infected. Now, this nurse is also infected. There we go. Anybody else? How is David not infected? Do you know what I mean? How is David not infected? So she's a stretcher nurse and then a janitor. So people that are spending time in this room, it would seem. So not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I guess I'll keep an eye on it, but it seems quite restrictive. It doesn't seem like it's that difficult, that easy, rather, to spread illnesses. It seems really quite difficult to spread illnesses. My issue with this is that I'm being told that my staff are infected rather than me having to find it out on my own. I think a benefit of this would be that my staff are moving so slow and the infection is spreading from staff to staff. I mean, can that even happen? Can this staff member spread it to another staff member? Probably not, because, and this is something that comes up with this game time and time again, the illusion of control over your hospital. In that, as a hospital administrator, you don't have a lot in this game of control, because it's actually taken the action for me. It hasn't just said, you have an epidemic outbreak, deal with it. Think of, I don't know if you've played Prison Architect, but for example, that spreads, and it's very much up to you to contain it. And it's the same with 2 Point Hospital. It's up to the hospital administrator to contain the outbreak, not here. The game does it for you. That all control is taken away. So not only is it telling me that something's gone wrong, but it's actually fixing it for me, meaning my role in an epidemic outbreak is completely mute. It's absolutely pointless. So that is extremely disappointing. What should be happening here is staff become infected and I don't necessarily know about it. It could come up here saying there seems to be an epidemic outbreak, and then it's up to me to find the staff that are infected, and then it's up to me to decide which departments and where I want staff to be wearing masks and gloves. And there should also be more of a consequence to the staff that are infected as well, for sure. What is this? Okay. I mean, it says here that the required room is a DID office. Yeah, but she has to be hospitalised, sure. So, what is it now? Where was I? Yeah, there should be greater consequences to your staff getting sick. The fact that they're just going to slow down. I can't find that janitor now, wherever he's gone. He's just going to walk slowly. And that's it there. There he is. But because he's got his mask and his gloves on now, I guess it's not going to spread, you know. And it's not going to have a huge impact on my hospital because, I have 2 or 3 members of staff that are just going to work slowly. Big whoop, do you know what I mean? Go away. The consequences needs to be greater. Staff, potentially, I believe, should die in this. I think that you should be in a situation where infected staff need to be isolated. Absolutely have to be isolated. Inside this isolation unit. That should be happening. That's a thing that should happen, you know, even if it's, you know, you have it somewhere separate in the hospital and it's just for staff or something. But you would get into a situation then where the impact of an epidemic is so great that you would avoid it at all costs. You as an administrator would feel the need to take action, as well as, you know, staff that have been working in a hospital a long time. Look, they've got 100% in biochemistry. I'm not going to want them to die. I'm not going to want them to quit. You know, it's the same down here. I've got, you know, they've got 99% in general medicine, 93% in diagnosis, 98% in acute medicine. Okay, this is a bit rubbish. But the point is that if you've invested in your staff through time to get their experience up, or you've spent a lot of money on them and training, the last thing you're going to want them to do is quit because the hospital is unsafe to work in, or because they become isolated and then die. Like, that would be horrific. And so you as a player would feel the need to take action. Do you know what I mean? And also staff being taken off the floor so they can no longer work, and then other staff members having to take care of them. That is a significant impact on your workforce in your hospital. Just making a couple of staff members walk slow and the game takes action to rectify the situation for you is bad. There's no new gameplay, effectively. It's like they couldn't be bothered to code it. So you've got exactly what you've got with every other department. You know, there's no control over an epidemic outbreak. It just takes control for you because it saves the coding in having to put any new gameplay in. And that is a crying shame. That is bitterly disappointing. Disappointing. Oxymoron. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to all my Patreons for their continued support.